see here. Where's... And where lie... Who will be first? Who will be first on the
Teresa.
ATD? Vamp is live. What? Party people. Vamp, I'm going to give you a little heads up. You're the only one partying on Monday. Oh boy, Vamp. Vamp.
She had a great time, which is all that mattered. She was on vacation.
All right, so every day. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't like a lot of talking, if you don't like a lot of jibber jabber and questions asked and questions answered, I would just mute it or just not watch us.
This video is not for you.
This is for beginners, so we're going to be doing a lot of stuff you've already heard before, all you professionals out there. There's a lot of people starting resin this year for Christmas, and we just kind of want to take it back to some simple stuff, to some one-on-one, and to kind of how we started. And we didn't even start with we tried with artwork and they were like, what is this good? Let's just do some countertops. Which we probably should have started with a lot more coasters and paintings before we started doing countertops. But this is just, something simple, something quick for the holidays so that people aren't worrying. It takes a couple days for these to cure, and if you have to ship them off, then they might not get them in time for Christmas. So we will help you guys try to get some awesome coasters out. This is just going to be a simple gold and white marble. We might do maybe a color just to kind of show you what color looks like. And just kind of show you how to mix it, how to apply it, and then how to just to leave it alone, because that's the important thing, is just know when to leave it alone. So hi everybody. I see everybody's hi. How are you guys? What's happening?
Hey y'all.
I hope you guys are having an awesome Wednesday night. Alrighty then. Let's see here. This is a little... We'll get you guys in a little closer. I want to do... I found these Texas steak coasters. All right, we're good. Looks like this guy's a little bit up. This guy, we'll move over here. I never can tell which way this goes. We'll do that for all the paints and whatnot. Burl Hunter's in the house.
The Burl Hunter.
That's what somebody just said. Sup, Burl Hunter.
Red?
Sup, JJ, Doris, Sweet Pea, Bethany. All right, so first off, what we're going to do, we're going to tell you what resin that we're using. This resin is awesome for everybody. You don't have to be an artist. It's called Art Coat because it's made from inspiration of artists and in mind for artists. And what that really means is there's no odor. There is at least a 2-hour working time. At least, I'll say hour and 30 minutes. If you're in the right conditions, we've used it for up to 2 hours, almost 2.5. So Stone Coat Countertops Art Coat is really an ideal resin for beginners and experienced people. Sometimes people don't like a long working time, but who doesn't like a long working time? Like, what are you going to do? It's a 1-to-1, so that means You pour 1 ounce of this, 1 ounce of that if you want 2 ounces. If you want 4 ounces, you pour 2 ounces of this, 2 ounces of this, 1 to 1.
Sounds silly having to repeat that, but so many people
I know, and that's why we're doing this today.
think of it wrong.
So I already poured, we're making, I want to say, this is a little under 8 ounces because I wanted to make sure I had enough color just in case if I wanted to do a color, you know, different, maybe a couple colors of marble. And don't worry about when you're stirring this. You see the bubbles? Don't worry about that. Those will all go away with a torch or a heat gun. And if you ask, what's your favorite, torch or heat gun? They're both my favorite. A torch is a little bit easier access. It's a little quicker. It is obviously straight fire, so you have to be very careful not to burn your resin and or set your alcohol rag on fire, which I have done a couple times. A heat gun, it's perfect for a lot of air, a bigger space, and with the heat gun we have, you can control it. You can have a high heat or you can have no heat. And with no heat, obviously, that way you could just blow it around, put some heat on, pop your bubbles, and you're good. I've stirred this enough, I'm sure. You want to stir it for about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. And if you lost track of time, just wipe your stick off and stir it for another minute. If you think, oh, I don't know if I've stirred it long enough. You get the sides, the bottom, and your stick. And if you're wondering what this ginormous stir stick is, we don't sell this big of stir stick. This is like a large small. But we do sell extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. But the extra large look like these with the handle on it. These are really thick. These are meant for a bigger batch of resin. It's got a nice handle on it. Your finger grips, your thumb here, and you stir it on up. And we sell all those on our website, artisttilldeath.com. I will be mentioning that throughout this video, so get used to it. All right, so what we want to do, we'll just do white and gold this time, and we're going to use Just Resin's titanium white. This is an awesome paste, and this doesn't take a lot at all, especially in small cups like this. I will show you in this camera how much to add. Let's put these little guys away. And unfortunately we don't sell these little ones, if you're wondering, but we do include them in a kit that we have. I think it's a 12 by 12 kit, and there's different colored kits, different sized kits, as far as there's one that comes complete with everything, including a heat gun. I'm sorry, a torch. And then one, it just comes with the stone coat, some colors, and essentials to, if you really want to start, if you already have a heat gun or a torch, you can open them up and pour right when you get them. All right, so mixing color. And I have this in the photograph. This is Amazing Gold Paint by Montana. It's gold. You can get it at graffiti shops, online, on Amazon. We found it. This is what the can looks like, which is nearly impossible to read. But it's from Montana. It's called Liquid Gold, and they sell it in gold, silver, and rose gold, I believe. Or copper, maybe? I'm not sure. But you always want to shake it up. This is what this stuff looks like. And it's basically liquid spray paint you can pour out. And this is what we're going to use. It's the same thing as this. It's just this is easier to get to. We don't have to spray it. And when you're adding something like this, don't add this to your cup or plastic cup, because it'll eat through the cup. plastic cup, it'll just soak in this one. You won't get as much detail out of it. So what you want to do is put your resin in your cup first, and you do not need a lot, especially when you're doing gold highlights like we're doing. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my stir stick, wipe this off just in case I got anything on it, and I'm just gonna dip my stir stick into this gold, drop it into here. Or if you have a what are those little squeezy things, babe? You see, I didn't put a lot, but normally for this gold, you know what we do actually, don't we? With the gold, we put quite a bit. And do not put this in your gold and then put this and stir it up and then take that and put it back in there, because that's not going to work. I'm just going to dump this in there a little bit. And this is probably too much gold, because you're literally only stringing this along. And then at the end, when you put this down, if you want to, we'll go over that in a minute. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. I keep forgetting. I'm not used to doing the beginner's thing. All right, set that aside. All right, now we'll do some white. We're gonna mix quite a bit of white, so we'll fill this up because this is gonna be our base. And then we'll put some for just a little bit darker. And what I mean by darker is I'll probably add a little bit, like a smidget of black, like not even hardly any, because I want this to be just a little off so that you'll be able to see a little bit of contrast between, for what it'll look like, a deeper marble line and a brighter marble line. So, and you don't need a lot in here. Stir it up. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll just put some of that in there. And remember, you're doing white. You don't need a lot of white in here because your background's going to be white. So you basically want this to be white so the other colors will blend in a little bit better, look a little bit more natural because of the white blending in with the other colors. And so I can still see through the stick where the paint was. Well, that's good. All right. You know what we could do? And we'll make that in a little bit. We'll just do that. We'll make a not too opaque. All right. And if you have powder that you're wanting to use, like a gold powder, we always suggest that you put the powder in first, your cup, and then put the resin on top of it so that when you stir it, it doesn't go plume in your face. You don't want that. And if you have any questions, if you're new to the channel, if you've just joined, if you're new to resin, or if you've been here a while, feel free to ask any question you want. Do not hesitate or no stupid or dumb questions. And if I've already answered one and you didn't hear it or understand it, please ask again. And if I don't get to the question, somebody with a little blue wrench will, or whoever might. It's a lot of helpful hands in here. All right, so I want to make just a little bit darker You know what I could use? I could use my shading gray. That works, right? Just to make a hint, I have this golden shading gray here. I'm just going to add just a teeny bit. I'm just going to do one drop. See what this looks like here to the side. If there's any in here. Maybe there's not any in here. Sounds like there is. Alright, so I'm going to do one drop. See that? Literally, that was one drop. Perfect. See, it's just like, just enough off. You can see that? You can tell the difference in that. It might be blown out. That's the gray one. That's the pure white. I like it. You're not trying to make a big difference. You just want a different. I'm going to do just a teeny. I'm going to do one more little drop. Even if you wanted to, you could use this. You can use the little bit off-white as your base and then put these white lines down. That'll look nice. You know what I'm going to do? I don't know if I even want to use this gold. Maybe I'll use a couple, and then I'll use this gold for a couple lines for the veins, and then I'll come back with just this. Put it in a cup. Just get like a stir stick and just run it through those veins and put a little bit of shine to it. Makes it look amazing. Gives it a whole pop that you can, that you just, that you love. Yeah, that you love. All right, so application, you don't need a lot because remember, you're going to be adding more resin to this basically. You're going to be adding the gold, you're going to be adding little bit of this white, and then whatever other colors that you have in mind if somebody asks you to do multicolor marble, or if you're making multicolor marble, which Mike from Stone Coat does. He is a marble stone master. And if you don't know who that is, it's Mike Quist over at stonecoatcountertops.com. They are an amazing company. They're out of Oregon, and they're awesome. That's where we get our art coat from, and some other pigments and whatnots. All right, we might have to put a little bit more black in there. I'm not sure. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run. And if you need some like references, don't be just go get something, print it off and look at it. Don't try to, mock it right away. Just kind of look at it, put your lines down and leave it alone. Because the more you keep messing with it, the more muddy it's going to get. So we always suggest that you put a couple random lines down sideways, kind of squiggly. Put some heat on it, maybe blow it out a little bit. Put some your heat gun on it, move it a little bit, and it should do it. We'll do a couple different styles. So what we'll do with this one, and when you apply this, that's all I'm doing is just running it. Let me see, can you see that on this one? There we go. I'm literally just running it out of it, but I'm starting here and going across and coming off and then coming around, as you can see the direction of this. Don't go over it and then come back unless you want something to drip in there like that. All right, so what we'll do with that, I'm gonna put just a little bit more in here because I don't know if that's gonna make that big of a difference. That should do it. All right, so now I'm going to take my torch. You know what I can do? This is what I didn't do last time. I always forget that you can, if these lines are too thick, if you don't like, you know, how you've put it down, you can always take it, whoops, and make another line. Come off here, because there's so many different patterns. Like, it's not even a pattern in marble, you know. It's how it's cut and how the layers are. It looks like I put way too much gold down. You can tilt it.
Apologies for the racket.
What's that?
Apologies for the racket.
Apologies for the racket.
Yes, all of the noise.
Oh, apologies. And if you want, you can tilt it, but I don't recommend if you're doing somebody's countertop to give them a sample that you've tilted because you won't be able to tilt that countertop. Pro tip. So this is with just gold, and then I'll run some of this. Let's see. Maybe I'll run a couple of these off-white. Doesn't make a big of difference, but you definitely can see it. I'm going to blow this out here. See, and you have a nice little subtle gold. Where do I put these at? I need some room. All right. You know what I do need to make is a little bit of black. Do we have black over here? Why didn't I make black? It's marble. All right, so we'll put this one aside. You know what? I'm going to try to use this this grayish. It's not gray, but it's not white. And that way we'll see how much contrast the white will have when you put the lines down. Sorry if I'm not getting anybody's question. I'm trying to just do this without forgetting or stopping and getting lost in a question or not finishing a question. All right, so oh yeah, we need to make some black. You don't need to make a lot of black either, because you're just doing lines with it. Oh, that sounded bad. No black over here. Black base tint. Ultramarine blue. I do not have any black over here. What is that over here? Should I just use? Oh, do they have black in this stuff? In the cap?
What are you looking for?
Black. I've been saying it for like 20 minutes. I need black. Alright, so we're going to use some Cast and Craft black. No, Alumilite. Sorry about that. Black opaque. You don't need a lot in this either. This stuff is serious. Like, you seriously don't need a lot. This comes in tints, like transparent colors, and it is beautiful. I know. I told him that. I'm just saying it comes in. They have transparent colors.
Oh, gotcha.
When you get it, you have to cut this much off, just so you know to put it in your bottle. And that was probably too much. That was just that much, and that's probably too much. All right, so I'm going to do the most minimal as possible because I haven't done this in a minute, and I'm kind of excited about doing it just because I want to. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably just run the stick through it. Just to make very thin lines. There is something on here. I haven't done this in a minute, so bear with me. Put some heat on it. And what you want to do is these don't have to be all that dark. You almost want to kind of blend these in with your base. This, and then let's do some of this white over this. So you put a little bit of this off, this brighter white.
No.
Sorry guys, I signed up for yappers. All right. Give it some not so human look. Like, you're wanting to kind of blend this black down more so that it looks more natural, not human made. Do a couple of those little guys. If you want, do a little tilt to put some motion in that. I would almost darken this with a little bit of this black for those lines. You know what I'm saying? That was way too much blowing. See, once you start adding these other lines, it'll give it a more of a marble look. I haven't done this in a while, so if it doesn't look like marble, we're all beginners here, right? Oh, you guys can't even see that. It's difficult to see. It's not bad marble. And it doesn't hurt to tilt these to get some of this resin off if you put quite a bit on. Now look at that. How fun is that? Very light. What you do when you keep putting that white down, it just kind of sinks that darker color down. And it gives it a nice marble look. Not bad. Let's do that. Let's put a little bit of black in this. I'm going to put just a tiny bit. See what that looks like. That is not enough.
What do you think, Nana? What do you think? Easy. What do you think, huh?
Oh, there you go. And that way you have an already gray to kind of give your depth. That's not bad. I don't think that looks bad. It's a nice marble look. Alright, so now I'm going to take this gold and I'm going to do a very thin line. Very thin line. Can you guys still see this guy right here? I can never tell. I think this camera is like turned backwards somehow. Alright, so I'm just going to do just a very, very thin line. And when you put this gold into this resin, it becomes very thin, as you can see. So I'm just going to do a hint of gold through here. There we go. I'm going to hit it with this heat. Do a couple pinpoints to kind of blow it out, to kind of blend it in like it's sunk into that. Maybe tilt it a little bit, give it some motion. Take some of that gold off if you don't like it. But see how it just kind of sinks in there. Look at that. You just kind of get a nice soft gold, like it's sunk into that marble, like it's meant to be there. There you go. You got a nice granite, marble, and gold coaster. I'm happy with that, y'all. Started out kind of a disaster, but I'll do a true color video with my phone. All right, so now what we'll do, let's do one with white background. And then we'll do this darker gray that I have to make the lines, to make it like this is more granite, I guess you could say, than marble. Is that what that would be, granite? No, because I don't have alcohol spray. I think Mike makes granite with alcohol spray. Looks marblicious. Thanks, JJ. All right, so let's do the same with this. We'll do just the lines. We'll do thin lines, and then we'll kind of blend it in. We'll make this one kind of busy. I apologize if I keep hitting this darn camera. It's hard to, let's do this. I'll just bring this down to the side. How's that? No, it doesn't want to go that way. Ooh, this is about to fall off. Hold on. I apologize for all the movement. This camera is about ready to fall. Well, there it goes. Sorry, you guys. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. I've got to get this a little bit more. There we go. I apologize for that. Sorry. All right. So what I want to do with this, we're just going to kind of try to blend all this in. Okay, just stick with what you have. Don't try to make more lines, because then you'll get it real muddy, and then you'll have to add more. White, which I most likely will, just so I can tone this down. And you know what works really well if you're doing like a bigger piece, like a sample, and you're doing an actual countertop, or rollers. I happen to have one right now. Soak this in whatever color you're using, like white, like your base, and then when these lines go over this, if I do this right now with this, it'll just soak up all this resin. But you just go over those lines and come back, and it'll blend that in. It'll make it look like it's really in depth, like it looks amazing. Just know that you're gonna have to throw these away after. These are super cheap, and that's a good thing when you're buying these, because you use a lot of them if you're doing a big countertop. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make this all one big blob here, and I'll just add more white. We'll just make it a little interesting for you. It's funny because I should probably have reference, but I never do. Alright, so what I want to try, let's do, we're just going to draw some some veins on here. Why does this always look so weird whenever I do this at first? Like, I hate it. I always hate it at first. Now this looks like tie-dye. Let's dump some of that off there. And see, when you tilt it like that, you kind of make these organic looking crazy veins. This one, not so much. But when we add gold to it, it'll look amazing. So we'll just scratch this one as a piece of art. More than a piece of art, not so much marble or granite. You see how resin kind of says, do you have an idea? Well, here's my idea. Your idea doesn't matter.
That's rude.
Alright, so this is what I'm going to show you. And I'm going to just put this in a regular cup since I'm not going to put resin in it. You know what? I didn't mix that up. You notice how all that... Always want to mix it up, or else you get the unmixed stuff, and then you don't get any of the gold. See how different that looks? Look at that, and I got little splatters on there too. Ooh! Dropped my cup. Alright, so we're just going to run this stir stick. I'm just going to dip the tip of that stir stick in there. Not a lot, but watch when I put this down. It'll look like a lot. See how large that, and all you have to do, you don't even need any more on there. You just little by little. You can drag this into these. Come over here. Oh yeah, this looks nice. You know how people like to paint the sides of their coasters? This stuff works awesome. You can just hit it right on the edge here and just line your entire coaster with it if you like.
Hit it.
Hit it. Look at that. How fun is that? I'm just going to do that to the whole thing.
It's super fun. Will you also do a white and gold one?
I did one, but I didn't do it right. But how fun is that?
Looks really good.
Just hit it with a little heat. Get some air bubbles out. You don't want to hit it a lot because you'll disperse this gold unless you want that look. And it looks awesome when you do that sometimes. That's super fun. Alright, I'll do, and what do you want, just a white? I'm going to do just white.
You need a white and gold, 2 white and golds, and 2 white and gold.
Well, I don't have pink.
They're right there next to you.
She got me doing orders over here while I'm just playing. I don't know if I have enough, so we'll see.
Whatever you can. Yeah, that's fine too.
Alright, so I'm gonna take this gold. We're gonna do just the gold. You know what? I'll do just super thin lines of this. I'm gonna make a little bit more concentrated. So I'm gonna put just a little bit of resin in here without that gold in there. And I'm gonna add. God, is there a leak in this or something? It just got gold on there. Now remember, when you add this gold, it does make it thinner. So be very careful and not add so much. And that's why, because it drips down the side. This gold is potent, people. Potent, I tell you. So see, it's a little bit more metallic-y looking. It's not so washed out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and do my lines and gold on here.
What are you doing, Beans? You pouting? You don't need to be on the table. It's not for Beans.
That looks great. I'm going to put a couple white lines on there just to kind of go next to that, so it's a little bit contrasty. As that gold will start to mix in with the white and make it a little bit lighter. Sorry for covering that up. I know I'm doing that. The Anne Marie Ritterhoff view. Which we love. We love you, Anne Marie. Give it some. All right, so now, oh, it's spilt. Why didn't you guys tell me that spilt? I gotta get a different rag. All right. Oh, there's still some in here. So what I'm gonna do with this is just strictly gold. I am going to just run it through a couple of these lines and not I'm not trying to make a big scene with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to kind of follow a couple of these thin lines. Just dab it. You're just dabbing it. Turning the stick so you kind of get some of that on the edge. Now you have old school gold coaster. I get some of that gold off the end there. All right. Let's do another gold one. So I apologize for not looking up at the monitor. I'll do that for 2 seconds. So pushy.